Ever since the video a while back about playing kick doubles, I've gotten a lot of feedback from you guys about your continued frustration with your right foot. Whether you're annoyed by its stiffness, its clumsiness, or whatever, sometimes we have to get really specific with how we practice to fix exactly what's going on. If you've worked on the various foot techniques that we talked about in that video and you found one that works for you, let's take this a step further. Today we're talking about a specific exercise I've used that has really helped my feet. I'm not promising that it will work miracles, but it did help me a ton, and I know it will at least improve your right foot strength and agility. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to the Non-Glamorous Drummer. This is a channel that's all about giving you the non-glamorous tips and topics of the trade to help teach you the drumming skills that really matter to help you become a better drummer. If you haven't yet subscribed, I really hope to earn your subscription. So this exercise I'm talking about today is not one that I've come up with. This is one that the great Chapin came up with that is in his book, Advanced Techniques for the Modern Drummer. This book was originally published in 1948, although the makings of it, Chapin was using and teaching in the decade or so leading up to that. Needless to say, this is very old material, lots of really good, tried and tested, lots of really good stuff that has helped drummers for, wow, probably 70 or 80 years now. The basic idea behind the book is you're learning coordination and technique from a jazz standpoint. You're playing jazz time on the ride, and you're closing the hi-hat with your left foot on 2 and 4. And in the midst of all that, you're doing different patterns between your left foot on the snare, your right foot on the kick. It's a really challenging book, but it's also one that's very rewarding to work through. So about this specific exercise, when I was working through this book in high school, I got to a point where things were going pretty smoothly. I was getting it. I was making smooth progress each week. But I got stuck on the part where I was playing triplets with my right foot against a ride pattern. Before I further explain the exercise, let me just show it to you. Here's a video of me playing it first pretty fast, fairly quickly, and then slower. Basically, what this exercise taught me was that sometimes a right foot issue isn't just a physical issue, sometimes it's more of a mental issue. In my scenario, the problem was more a result of coordination not happening than it was my right foot not being able to play this part. What I did to learn it was I took it really, really slow, playing that ride pattern really slow with the hi-hat 2 and 4, playing everything all together really slow, making sure that I could very comfortably play those right foot triplets against that with everything locked together where it actually felt good. And so I did that over and over again in my practicing, probably for a few days before I even began upping the tempo. But when I did start to up the tempo, suddenly it was like magic. Things were locking together much better than they had before because of that time I put in practicing it really slow. This is something I know I've talked about before. It's really important to take things really slow when you're having an issue, because that's not only going to help you with the coordination part of whatever you're working on, but it might just help you with the technique too, because there's a little bit of muscle memory involved, muscle memory as we call it, involved behind this kind of thing, where sometimes you've just got to do something really slow so that that limb, whether it's your foot or your hand, can really get comfortable doing it and begin to do it naturally so that you don't have to think so much about it and so that you can think about more musical things as you're playing. So there's really a combination of these different things involved here. But the fact is, this particular exercise really helped me push past a roadblock of right foot trouble. My right foot was slow and clumsy. I worked on this exercise a bunch and also changed my approach to practicing, really. And suddenly my right foot was working much more fluidly, and I was able to apply the same approach to everything after that and everything I've worked on since then. So that's why I say there's not anything magical about this exercise. You could take any exercise like it and apply that approach. Anything that involves something really difficult, but taking it slowly, gradually working it up, it's going to help. So of course I recommend buy the book, but if you don't have it, you can create your own exercise a lot like this. You heard what I just played. You could play your own thing like that, write a random triplet pattern and start practicing that. It's going to serve you just as well. The point here is that you take whatever the really difficult thing is that your right foot is having trouble doing, practice it within that context of where you're using it. So within that groove, whatever, but play it really slowly and keep it slowly until you have mastered it at that slow tempo. So give it a shot and either write your own exercise based on this one, or go check out the Chapin book and start working through it. None of this is easy. Really, none of this is easy. This is a tough book and these are very difficult exercises. But if you work through these things, you patiently work through them, you'll raise that technique ceiling that I've talked about a lot in my videos, and you will be very rewarded in the end. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and subscribers, thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for all that you guys do, watching videos and commenting and liking and sharing and all that good stuff. And if you haven't yet subscribed, I really hope to earn your subscription. I hope you'll join this community of all of us non-glamorous drummers working to get better at what we do. Thanks guys, have a great weekend. I will see you next week.